Okay. Okay, I don't know if it is only us today. Okay, guys, if you have doubts, just ask me about whatever thing you need. And I'm telling you that I will tell you to do another writing, but not today. Not today. So let's see. Okay, nobody is available today. Okay, Jose, by the moment you and I. Do you have the writing? Do you have something to correct?
No, Marta, I didn't have time to pass with a word.
Okay, okay. So today we're going to, well, I suppose that the people will see the class at the end, I mean, online in YouTube. Well, I don't know. I'm just going to speak as if the rest were here because then they are going to see it. But Jose, you can stop me if you have doubts. So now you are supposed to see my my computer. Let me see. Okay, so today we are going to just review I'm going to give you some highlights about the passive voice. I sent a document in which you have all the theory related to the passive, and that's it. When do we use the passive? We use the passive voice when the object of the action is more important than those who perform the action. You want to play emphasis on the object rather than on the person. And it is more used than in Spanish. Okay, so sometimes when we speak in Spanish, we normally don't use the passive as much as we do in English. So in English is something which is very common. We have 3 steps to pass from an active sentence to a passive one, but this is not mandatory for the exam. You are not going to be asked to do that in the exam, but you should know that the object of the of the active sentence, so for example in this, he paints the picture, the object, which is the picture, becomes the subject of the a passive sentence. So this is going to be at the beginning, as we can see here. Okay, let me see if I'm recording. Okay. The picture. Okay, the step 2. Step 2 is to put the verb to be. We always have a verb to be conjugated in any tense and then the participle. So the verb to be in the tense of the active or in the tense that you want to say the sentence. He paints the picture. So this is present simple. So the possibility of to be in present simple is going to be am, are, or is. And the picture is because you conjugate the verb to be. And then we need our step 3, which is adding the participle, adding the past participle. So third column or ed if it is regular, the picture is painted. The picture is painted. We have an additional step, which is not mandatory, okay? This is not obligatory, and it is Tom paints the picture. The picture is painted by Tom. In this case, we put the agent complement because we are given a name. We are given a name, but sometimes we don't put the agent If we have they, he, she, okay, we don't usually put by. If we say he or somebody paints the picture, we suppose that somebody is painting the picture, so this is not necessary. Well, this is the same. I'm going to go fast in this section. So you have to conjugate to be in the tense you want, and then you put the participle. The participle is going to be the same, eaten, eaten. What does change the verb to be? In this case, we have present simple, so the present simple of the verb to be here is being, is the present continuous of the verb to be. For example, in the present perfect, we put the present perfect of the verb to be, and then the participle, the past simple of the verb to be, and then the participle. So it is all the time the same. Okay, she was eating pizza. The pizza was being eaten. If you translate into Spanish, this works. This totally works. Funciona traducir, okay, in this case. She had eaten pizza. Ella había comido pizza. La pizza había sido comida. Había sido comida. So this works if you translate into Spanish. So I'm gonna go just, well, the future of the verb to be is will be, and the future, the going to of the verb to be is going to, or are going to, or am going to be. And this is a box that you have also in, with another example, in the document that I passed, which is this, okay, which is the passive voice. Okay, you have here the structure. So we always put the same participle. So it's all the time the same. All the time. So, which is the difference? The verb to be in the present, so present simple, to be in the present continuous, so this is present continuous, to be in the past, so this is past simple, in the passive. So you have to recognize a passive, and you have to include a passive in the writings for you to show that you have the level, because this is C1, so you are supposed to include the passive voice in the real exam. Okay, so you have equivalencies in there, and this is very important that we pay attention to the number. What is the number? If I say they are eating an apple, this is plural. I have a plural subject, I have a plural verb, and then an apple is being eaten. An apple is singular, so this is going to be singular. He is eating apples. Apples are being eaten. Él está comiendo manzanas, las manzanas están siendo comidas. If you remember the table of equivalencies that I passed to you the first day of the classes, I told you what a participle is, what a gerund is, so this is the same in Spanish. Las manzanas están el verbo estar, to be in English. Being, siendo, the verb to be, again in English, siendo, endo, ando, eso tiene el gerundio, acaba en ing en inglés. And then the participle, which in Spanish is comida, comido, comidas, comidos. This is the participle in Spanish, and this is the participle in English. So it is good to translate. Which is the problem? Double objects. Sometimes we have verbs that require two objects. Which two objects? The direct object and the indirect object. Okay, this is the same in Spanish. Give, to give something to somebody, dar algo a alguien. Ya hay dos objetos detrás del verbo. Send something to somebody, tell something to somebody, decir algo a alguien. Decir algo, direct object, a alguien, indirect object. So these verbs require that we use two objects. And we have two possibilities. In this sentence, in the active structure, Mary gives Tom a book. I can pass it to the passive voice in two ways. The first option is that I put the object, the direct object at the beginning. A book is given because this is present. I have to put the present of the verb to be and then the participle. To Tom by Mary or by Mary to Tom. This is irrelevant. But the most common way is this one, is the passive number 2, which is Tom is given a book. You put first the indirect object and at the end you put the direct. Tom is given a book. Tom es dado un libro. In Spanish sounds very bad, but in English it is perfect because this is the normal thing in English. And in the speaking part, you can include this structure, okay? You can say, for example, I was given lots of presents in my birthday. So you have used already the passive in your exam. Or I have been given the documents or whatever. Okay, so this is a good part, a good way of introducing the passive in your exam. What is the passive used for? Also for the verb to be born, with the meaning in Spanish of nacer. To bear is tolerar, parir. Okay, so when we want to say nacer, we use always the passive. Why? Because this is an expression. I was born in 1976. Well, where are you born? ¿Dónde naciste? Around 100 babies are born in this hospital every week. We don't know on exactly which day the baby will be born. So we have these common expressions in the passive. And of course, in our formal writing or in the article that I will tell you to do next week, maybe, because we will see the inversion, la inversión, next day, you can include this. It is believed. It is said that. Okay? Normally, when you have an impersonal sentence with se in Spanish, you are going to use the passive in English. Se cree. It is believed. Se dice que. It is said that. Se estima. It is estimated. Se calculará, it will be calculated. Okay, so this is very, very easy to introduce in your writing section. This is very, very easy to introduce because you can include something in the speaking, something in the writing part, and that's it. But you have to be familiar with this structure just in case it is in the grammatical part of the exam. And that's it. I don't know if you have some doubts, but let's going to do some practice on it. Let's see. I added some exercises. We are not going to do all of them. So don't worry, it is not too much. It is not going to be so much because I'm going to skip all of them. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to do the first one and you're going to do 10 more. Okay, you're going to do from 2 to 11. I'm going to do the first one. Now I will make it smaller so that you can see. What do you have to do? Well, you have sentences in the active voice and you have to pass them to the passive. So one of the cleaners is my subject, has found is my verb tense, and my purse is the object. So what do I have to do? I have to put the object at the beginning of the sentence. You have all this information in this document, Teoría Voz Pasiva, okay? And what do you have to do to change the order? My purse. Now what tense? This is present perfect. Has been is the present perfect of to be. Then I put the participle and then I put the agent. The nurse. Okay, so this is what you have to do. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time, Jose, just if you, for you to have time to do from 2 to I don't know if you see them well, to 11. I'm going to pass the document. Let me see. I'm going to pass it, and that's it. Okay, so I'm going to write it here, exercise F from 2 to 11. That's it. This is it, what we have here. Okay, I'm going to do like that. So you can start. Okay, let's correct. Okay, so I'm going to do it very like pause so that you can see everything. So we have the subject, we have the verb in the past. Why do we know that it is in the past? Because if it were in the present, it would have a S. Then we have the indirect object. Let's put it in red. And this is just complements. So we can decide. Okay, so which is going to be the subject in our passive sentence? He was hit by the robber on the head with a hammer. Or he was hit on the head with a hammer by the robber. So normally the complements can be at the end or here. So where you want. Three, the government has built, this is our verb, a new road in this area. This is our main object, which is going to be the subject. A new road in this area has been built by the government. Okay. Stop me if you have doubts. The assistant handed, this is the verb. Me, this is the indirect object. This is a sentence with a double object. And then we have a note, which is the direct object. Two possibilities. Good. 5. We is our subject. Elected is our verb. John is the indirect. And class representative is a complement. Okay, so we don't care about it. Let's put it in this color. Class representative is called, this complement is called predicativo in Spanish. Okay, just if you're interested in syntax. So John was elected class representative by us, or simply was elected class representative. How can we check that this is a passive? We have a verb to be and then a participle. Verb to be, participle. Verb to be conjugated in the past perfect and participle. So this is easy. Someone is my subject, has taken the verb, and my wallet is the complement, which is the direct object. And we don't put by someone because this would sound strange. I mean, redundant. This is not necessary.
Marta.
Yes?
In number 5, is mandatory to put by us?
No.
Okay.
Because it is supposed that it has been elected by someone. So when you don't have a proper noun, it is not obligatory. But in this case, for example, in 7, I would put it. Many people use bicycles, and this is my object, how, as a means of transport. This is another complement. So in this case, well, you could put it.
It is possible to put, sorry.
Yes?
It's possible to put by many people at the end of the phrase?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we could put this at the end.
Perfect.
They advised is my verb. Me, this is the indirect object. To get a visa, this is a passive with infinitive, but this is the same. So I was advised to get a visa. And we don't put by them. How do I translate this into Spanish? Me aconsejaron. En español no sería una pasiva, simplemente sería una frase impersonal. Me aconsejaron obtener una visa. 9. They were rebuilding. This is the verb. The old road. And when I drove by es una subordinada de tiempo. When I drove by. So the old road was being rebuilt when I drove by. And we don't put by them because we suppose that there were workers there or someone was doing this. So we take it for granted. Lo damos por hecho. In this case, it is important, for example, because we have the local council opened a new shopping center. So a new shopping center was opened by the local council. In this case, yes. Why? Because this is the local council and not the National Congress. And the last one, which was 11, they haven't decided. Oh, this is more complicated. Well, this is not so much more complicated, and anything is our object. So, well, we could say nothing has been decided yet, or anything haven't been decided yet, and we don't put by them. Okay, so let's move on to the next exercise, which is the last of this is the last of the passive. I have here, well, I became motivated when I were doing all these things. Let's do the last one, which is working a little bit with double objects. in here we have to take into account that there are two possibilities when we transform an active sentence to the passive. And I'm going to do the first one, and you will do this 3. So John is my subject, gave is the verb, a bar of chocolate is my direct object, and to Jill, because it's the person, is my indirect object. This was not the color I wanted to put. Two possibilities. The first possibility is that we put first the direct object. A bar of chocolate was given to Jill by John, or by John to Jill. This is the same. This is irrelevant. And the second, in this case, we put the agent because we are given a name. Nos dan un nombre. We are given a name. Okay, so just with this example, with these two possibilities, you are going to do 2, 3, and 4. That's it. And we finish with the passive. 2, 3, and 4. There are. I'm going to make it smaller so that you can see this. Perfect. Okay, I lent a pencil to Graham. Graham was given, was lent a pencil by me. No, this is not necessary, but it is not wrong. A pencil was lent to Graham. Give me a second. Okay. Now. Okay, remember that the most common in English is when you put first the name of the person. This is the most common. So in here, A is the most common, B is the most common when you have the noun. So that is everything related to the passive. Just try to include this structure in your writing or in the speaking part. Above all, in the writing. Because if you know the passive, but then you don't put it into practice in the real exam, what do you want the passive for? I mean, you have to use it. Maybe it will be in the grammar part, but this is just only a hypothesis, okay? Maybe it is, or maybe it won't be. So we don't know for sure. We are going to go with another thing, which is the causative, el causativo. This is the only day. Well, I'm going to speak what we are doing. Today we're seeing the causative. This is the last thing that we see today. Next day, we will see the inversion, la inversión. This is something important also for you to include in the writing and maybe for the grammar part. And then we have 2 more weeks, okay? This is our 3rd week. We have 2 more left. And in these 2 weeks, I want to practice the speaking. I'm going to give you the link of the listening if you don't have it. I think you have it already, but I will pass it again. And we will just correct some writings if you have, okay? And next day I will tell you to do the final writing, which is the article, okay? So I repeat, today have something done, which is the causative. The following day, inversion. And the following weeks is reviewing everything with writings, speaking, and with more tests, which have been exams in the past. What is the causative? Why is this important? You can have or get, then the object. Okay, this is irrelevant. One is more used in British English, the other is more used in American English. It doesn't matter. Then you have the object, okay, the bike, my hair, my nails, whatever. And then this done is a participle, so you are going to have a participle. So this is the structure of have something done, which is the causative, el causativo. This is related to the passive, because we have the participle, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Why is this structure used? This is used for this, for expressing the fact of telling somebody to do something for us. Le decimos a alguien que nos haga algo a nosotros, okay? And we don't have to specify who was the person who told us to do whatever. Okay, so for example, first I want you to understand the concept in Spanish. Me pintaron la cocina. Me pintaron la cocina, we take for granted that there were painters painting your kitchen, or maybe your uncle, I don't know, or your father, or your parents, or your brothers. Okay, we don't care. We don't care. Which is the important fact? That I have my kitchen painted. This is the important thing. Me pintaron la cocina. We know that you weren't the one painting the kitchen. No es lo mismo que yo diga he pintado la cocina o me han pintado la cocina. So the subject is different. O me he cortado el pelo. Bueno, en español si decimos me he cortado el pelo, podemos, bueno, alguien puede intuir que se lo han cortado en la peluquería o que se lo ha cortado él mismo. En español es a veces ambiguo, en inglés no. En inglés tendríamos I cut my hair, me corté el pelo, yo. ¿Quién lo hizo? I, okay? Or if I went to the hairdressers, I would say I had, because I put it in the past, I put this in the past. This can be conjugated in any tense, okay? I had my hair, and then the participle is cut. So in English, there is a huge difference. So I cut my hair, I did it, I had my hair cut. Somebody else did it for me. Okay, so this is very important. I had my kitchen painted. With this structure, I am able to know that I wasn't the one painting the kitchen. So the structure, I repeat, to have, in or to get, this is invariable, okay? Get is more informal, but it doesn't matter. Normally, you are going to encounter this structure with the verb to have, and you can say, well, you can conjugate this verb. I will have my kitchen painted. I will have my kitchen painted. I have had my kitchen painted. I will be having my kitchen painted in the tense that you want. Future, continuous, future perfect, past perfect. Let's see more examples. I'm going to pass to you this document, okay? So don't worry if I go too fast. You know that I like to explain the theory fast because maybe you like this, but maybe you can get bored. So she usually has her nails done at that beauty salon. Okay, she goes somewhere to do her nails, but she has somebody to do that for her. Will you have your eyes checked in the doctor or in wherever place? I told you that this is related to the passive voice. That is why we are seeing it today. We could say by. I had my kitchen painted by John. Me pintó. En español no sería pasiva. En inglés sí es una pasiva. Es el causativo, está relacionado, ¿no? En español diríamos, me pintó la cocina John. Podríamos decir, John painted my kitchen. This is the same. But this is more common. Es más común en inglés decir, I had my kitchen painted by John, que decir, John painted my kitchen. The practice, well, let's see some examples. So just read these examples so that you understand it better. Okay, so you understand that in Spanish this is not a passive. No tiene que coincidir siempre en un idioma que la pasiva, por ejemplo, en inglés, sea la pasiva en español. Okay, read this. Okay, with this you can also learn some vocabulary about archivos is files. Traer, when you order something to a restaurant, you say deliver. And this is basically it. And this is the last one, okay, the last examples. So tell me if you understand. Okay, so imagine if in the speaking part you have a part in which you have to describe a past situation. Okay, like tell me about the last day you were with your family. This was a real question in one exam. Okay, so what would you say? Oh, the last day was in my birthday where I was given lots of presents. This is passive. And I had my birthday prepared by a very special person. Causative. This is perfect. Ya la podéis liar en algo más del speaking o no decir un contenido así extraordinario, que si metéis una pasiva, no hace falta tampoco meter todo. No me hagáis tampoco en una frase un condicional con una pasiva y en la siguiente un causativo. Pero lo que quiero que entendáis es que hay que introducir estas cosas. Mientras que introduzcáis algún condicional en el speaking, ya está bien, ¿ok? Si metéis una pasiva en el writing y un condicional, está bien. O ponéis un modal, ¿ok? That's it. So, this is used when somebody does something for us. So I'm going to pass this document. Have something done. I think this is it. And this is very, very important in English. And let's going to do some practice. We're going to do just the first 10. The first 10, okay? You have here I I don't know how many. This is it. I don't know. Yes. So just the first 10, from 1 to 10, what do you have to do to practice this structure? You have I cleaned my kitchen. I had my kitchen cleaned. Okay. In this case, they want you to practice with have or get. Ya sabemos que get se utiliza normalmente más en americano y es más informal. So if you are set get, you use get instead of have. Okay. If it tells you here get, you say I got my kitchen cleaned. This is the same, but with the other verb. So just from 1 to 10, that's it. Okay, so I'm going to do it orally. So the first, I washed my car. I had my car washed. 2, I got my hair cut. 3, I had the documents typed. 4, I got my washing machine fixed. 5, I had my grass cut. 6, I got my bedroom painted. This is important when you pronounce the ed. Be careful with that. Painted, but in 7 is repaired. 7, I had my fridge repaired. 8, I got my garden tidied. I got my garden tidied. 9, I had the article edited. 10, I got the carpets cleaned. And how do I translate this? Me limpiaron las alfombras, me editaron el artículo, me arreglaron el jardín, me repararon el frigorífico. Okay, this is very important. So now that you know the structure, you have to try to, well, to internalize it. And when you want to say, me arreglaron el frigorífico, instead of saying, they repaired my fridge, I had my fridge repaired. So this is a process of internalization. I don't know if you were used to all of these. By the way, we have to see the used to and be used to. And I think I'm going to tell you to do the article. So this is for everybody. I will remind you next day, but let me write in my agenda. Okay, so 4, I'm going to put here so that everyone can see it. The homework for the 21st, of course, of July. It is to have the article prepared. You see the structure? Article. I have to give you the title or the link for the article. So we saw, let me see. We talked about the article. What is this? No, give me just 1 second that I'm going to look this. I'm going to tell you what you have to do and we would have finished. Here, give me 1 minute. In the writing part, you have, remember that in the writing part, you have 3 writings and the last one is the article. And remember that you have the article and that we included some verbs and nouns, okay, that you have to include to introduce for saying to go up, go down, en vez de decir go down siempre, cuando baja un dato o el número de algo, en vez de decir go down, decimos plunge, dives, plummets, okay, but let me find something. I just have to put another pen drive. Because we did one, I mean, we didn't do it, but it was about tourism and all of these. But I don't find mine now. There I have it. Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second and I'm going to show you everything. Okay, I'm going to show you. Okay, so guys, I repeat, this is the homework for the 21st. This is the article. I will remind your partners next day, and I'm going to pass what you have to do. So in here, you have to do writing part 3, which is the article. This is the most difficult part, okay, and the part that can give you the C2. And you are going to have a graph, okay? The graphs are not going to be always the same, okay? You have different graphs or charts like that, okay? So it is not necessary to see a chart with numbers. You can have, for example, in here, oh my God, you can have like the age of the people. This is the age of marriage in USA, men and women, and the different decades. So in the article, we said that you are going to have something like this, some data, and you are going to have a question. And this is what you have to answer. Okay, so you have to develop an article in which you include the passive or difficult structures, okay? And you can't deduce, infer, imagine, invent, o lo inventáis basándoos en los datos, okay? How has the age of marriage changed during the last decades according to gender? Okay, so you say, well, nowadays people get married later, but you have to say why, or to comment on the figures a little bit. It is not necessary that you comment every single detail, but the most important trend. So I'm going to pass this, and that's it, guys. I'm going to pass it. Where is it? I have here many things. Article homework. This is it. So this is what you have to do for the 21st. So you have one whole week, una semana entera. Okay, so guys, that was everything. Thank you for coming, and if you have doubts, let me know next day. Okay, at the very beginning of the class. Okay, guys, have a nice week. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you, Marta. Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye bye, Marta.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.